Okay, I am doing a review, a recap on Age of Attraction, the new show on Netflix. Okay, all right. I'm not even gonna fix anything. Everything is how it's supposed to be. Fuck it. Okay. I done had 2 phone calls. I had to ignore them. They done interrupted my stream, and I'm irritated. Okay. So let's just get right into it. So this new series, Age of Attraction, it premiered March 11th. I watched the first episode as soon as it premiered. Um, and I already knew it was gonna be a red flag. I already knew it was gonna be a bunch of think pieces on this, a lot of controversy. Because what do you mean ageless dating? What exactly does that mean? Okay, it means exactly what it says, but like what? Okay, so the ages within the show range from 22 years old at the youngest to 60 plus, the oldest, 60 plus, so over 60 if you will. Okay, the hosts are Nick Bell. I'm not familiar with him. He is from like a Bachelorette series or whatever. I don't know, a lot of people just don't like him because um I think the story was like he was one of the last picks in Bachelorette, where like it was between him and another guy, and the woman ended up not picking him, and then he got on the show and ended up not picking the girl or something like that. I don't know. Um, it's kind of weird. I didn't really do too much digging because I was just like, okay, whatever. Y'all don't like him. The people don't like him. I get it. Whatever. It must be for a reason. Okay. So he is dating Natalie Joy. I don't know if they're married or not, but he is 45 years old and she is between maybe 26, 27 years old. So I guess they're the perfect host for this show because they're in a relationship where there's a huge age gap. Okay. Okay. So moving on. One of the rules of the show is that you cannot ask the other person's age or you cannot tell them your age. That's the whole point. Like, you're dating without knowing someone's age. But I feel like, honestly, like, let's just be real. When you're dating somebody, talking to them, you kind of start figuring out how old they are. Like, you do. You just do. Like, whether it be their mannerism, whether it be, their knowledge, what they know, what they don't know, whether it be like the things they laugh at, whether it be, the places they've been, like, you just will start to learn how old somebody is if you just talk to them. Let's be honest. Like, I don't care how a person looks. When you start talking to them, you're young. Oh, you're older. I can just tell. But I also feel like there's no excuse either. Okay, I'm not, we're gonna get into that later, but I feel like too, when you look at someone, you can tell how old they are. Like, you can, like, a lot of, like, I feel like more so men try to say they can't tell the age of a woman, but it's like, yes you can. Stop playing. Yes you can. Yes you can. Yes you can. You can. You could tell a range. You could tell like whether she's early 20s, later 20s, early 30s, later 30s, early 40, later 40, 50, 60. You can tell. Like, I'm just not going for it. You can tell. Okay? And you can tell if they're teenagers. You can tell if they're teenagers because yes, some people have baby faces. Okay, yes, some people have youthful faces, but it's something in the structure. It's something in the bags. It's something in the wrinkles. It's something in the skin that just screams, "Oh, you're young." It just does. Like, when you're a child or when you grow up, like, you have baby fat on you, and it's the baby fat that as they get older they will lose and they will start to like really chisel their face shape. Like, that's what I be saying. Like, I feel like when you're between like when you're like 18, 19, 20, like, you still have that like youthful like little puffiness on your face. Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Okay. So anyways, they can't ask each other's ages. Um, they only are supposed to connect based on connection, chemistry, personality. This show is filmed in Canada, Vancouver, Whistler. So I went on my way to see what is the consent age in this state because if you're gonna film a show like this, it has to be in a state or a place where people don't mind, right? Okay. So their age of consent is 16 years old. Okay. The legal age for marriage is 19. Okay. But other consent is between 16 and 18. Okay. Even though there's no like anyone under 18 on this show, it just, to me, it was just like, I need to know this information. Like, do they have, what is their consent age? Is it 18 and older? Like, what is it? But 16, that already red flag. Okay. Whatever. So then the goal of the show is to see if a relationship can survive the truth about age gaps. The truth being that age gaps, it just doesn't work. Okay. So you may have someone 20 years old dating a 45-year-old or a 55-year-old, and they connect. Once they connect, they go into the promise room where they give each other a ring. It's kind of like proposing a little bit. They give each other a ring, and after they give each other the ring, they basically promise to commit to each other, promise to, continue the relationship. At that point, they reveal their ages. And once they reveal their age, they decide if they're going to continue or not. They can say no, they can say yes, but once they continue, they move in together, they spend more time together, and then they go meet the parents. And then after they meet the parents, the family, and all of that, I think after that they have a wedding. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Okay. So upon so date, commit, reveal age, leave as a couple, as in move in, introduce to the family. Yeah, okay. So like I said, this show is kind of a mix of like Love is Blind meets Ultimatum meets speed dating meets Love at First Sight. It's like all of those in one. All of the cast member, they're able to see each other, but again, they cannot reveal their age. Okay. So the first episode, there's a lot of different variety of men and women, and you can't really attach yourself to anyone yet or get to know anyone yet, because it's just a lot of dating, a lot of going around, just like Love is Blind. Like they show you all these people, but they're not the main character yet until they propose to each other or until they decide to promise to commit. Okay. So just going down the list, I did write a few names. I'm not sure if this is everybody, but I started to write the names, and I feel like it was a waste of time because some of these people we're not going to see again, right? So the first woman that we see on the screen is Teresa. She clearly looks older. Like, she looks older. Like, it is what it is. She is a Caucasian woman. And I think what gave it away is like the wrinkles on her eyes, her skin, her verbiage. Like, you just know she's an older woman. Like, and she was looking for someone young. To me, Teresa gave like, she's looking for a young partner to feel young. Okay. Throughout the show, this woman was wearing crop top, and okay, to each his own. But I just feel like, let's be for real. This is my opinion. At a certain age, you like crop tops. Like, come on, crop tops. Crop tops. It's just not formal. It's not lady. It's not classy. It's not giving grown and sexy. Okay. It's not giving grown and sexy. I just feel like at a certain age, you should just be on that grown and sexy vibe. Like, you could reveal a little bit, but crop top, that don't give grown, okay? It don't. I'm sorry. And then the next girl, I don't know if her name is Fiverr or Piper. Pfeiffer. I don't know. I don't know. She is a younger woman and she wants older. Okay. Then we have Angel. She is an older woman and she wants. Oh, wait. Does it say she wants older? I don't know. We have Vanessa. She says she feels like it doesn't matter about age when she's dating. Like, why does it matter, girl? A lot of reasons, but okay. I can give you about 5. Then we meet Libby. She's clearly young. We meet Leah, which is a black grill. Okay, she's one of us. We meet Chloe. And the first thing she asked when she was on her date was, how much money do you make? Or where do you work? So right off the bat, she was giving like gold digger, okay? She was looking for an older man. We have William. We have Jorge, Justin, Chris, Charles, West, Lynn, David, Ashley, Tristan, Aaron, Vanell, Justin, Derek. Okay? It's just so many names. So yeah, there was a range of people. There were like, it was diverse. It was like some, I don't want to say like Chinese or Asian. Maybe they were Asian. Maybe so like Oriental. You had Caucasians. You had Black. You had Latinas, Latinos. So yeah, it was kind of mixed up, and I feel there was a good variety of like older women. There was a good variety of younger women. Um, I do feel like most of the men were older, but maybe it's just me. There were some younger men there who were looking for older women. But as I'm watching the show, like maybe my psychology perspective, like I'm just like reading more into each person. Like, why do you seek out older women? Why do you seek out older men? Why do you seek out younger men? Why do you seek out younger women? And it was clear that some people had daddy issues. Some people had mommy issues. Like there was a guy on there, I think his name was Tristan? Tristan? I think that's his name. And he wanted an older woman. And like the woman that he first connected with, it just gave me like, oh, he's looking for a mom. Oh, he's clearly looking for a mama. He's looking for a sugar mama. That's what it gave to me. He was just like so mesmerized by this older woman, like, oh, and I just love the way she, and yeah, it's just something about. And then he goes and say, oh, yo, if a woman is not hotter than my mother, I don't want her. Excuse me? Why are you even looking at your mama like that? But okay. Exactly, mommy issues. And then when he was dating one of the older women's, she happened to say like, do you have mama issues? Like, do you have mom issues? And I was like, clock it, girl. Yes. I think he does. But he's like, oh no, I just like older women. Okay, cool. Also, and I hate to be like, sound like I'm judging, right? I don't want to judge, to each its own, to each its own. But it's something about, I feel like there's different reasons, right, why people might not date in their age group, right? One of the reasons I feel like people don't date in their age group is because they're immature. Okay, they want to date someone younger because mentally they're not there. The things that someone older would be asking for, the expectation that they would want from them, like the emotional intelligence, the responsibility, the duty of being that man or that woman for them, they're not willing to step up to the plate to do that. Okay, just period. So they need someone that is a little bit younger, that is not going to ask for all those things. They're not going to have all those expectations because they're young. They're just free. They're just doing whatever. Like, it's nothing. That's one of the reasons. Another reason I feel like It's so funny. Another reason I feel like a person may date someone younger than them kind of to feed their own ego, right? Kind of to feed their own ego, to make themselves feel like, I still got it. I could get this man or this woman, I look young still, it is what it is. Like, look at them. Everybody wants me, to feed the ego. Okay? Or it could be where a person that's older in age, they may project on a younger person, always picking at them, right? Always saying like, oh, you should do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, because like they're older, so they know it all, they're wiser, and they got it all together, so they feel the need to kind of just pick at you and say where you fall short at, rather than them, you feel me, being like going within and seeing like what they need to work on. But they get with somebody older just to like come down on them, right? To like demean them, to make them feel lower than, right? To make themselves feel, above that person, okay? Some people, I feel like they are okay with being the provider, right? They're okay with buying love. So they want a young little thing, a young thing to spend that cash on. Like, I'm about to, but also that's manipulation. I feel like that's financial manipulation. I don't know how, but it is, okay? I feel like people date older for money. Okay, I'm gonna be taken care of because this is an older guy or older woman. They got it all together. They got their house together. They got their car. They got their career. They don't got no kids, or maybe they do got kids, but the kids are sent off, so they ain't gonna want no more kids. It's for the benefits, right? Some people, I feel like they haven't healed their inner child. They haven't healed, whatever beef they had with their mother when they were growing up, whatever beef they had with their father growing up. Now they're trying to get that from their partner, okay? So then there is scenes where I can see this person actually parenting their partner. And I don't know. It makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. I don't know. I'm sorry. Listen, nothing against, to each his own. If that's your type, that's what you do. Do your thing. Do your thing. But I feel like this show is kind of like normalizing ageless dating or age gaps. Okay, you have people that are 13 years apart, 20 years apart, 33 years apart, 27 years apart. It's just a bit much. And I feel like, and sometimes to me, it give red flag. If you're constantly seeking, so say you're an older woman or a man, and you're constantly seeking younger people, rather than going for people that's in your age group, it's like red flag. Like, red flag. Why can't you find someone in your age group or around your age? Why? Is there something wrong with you? Like, what is it? And people, they try to say, oh, there's no one in my age group. They're immature. They do. Okay, you're gonna get the same thing from people that's younger than you. But I feel like there's a motive. There's always an alternative motive to why someone is dating someone younger or older. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's my opinion, and that's what I think. It don't gotta be real. It don't gotta be a fact. That's just what I think. Sorry. But I mean, you're not always gonna find someone your age, right? Duh, I know that. But near your age, around your age, like, come on, I just don't feel like people that are like 35 plus should be dating someone 22, 23. Like, come on, that they're still a child. They still have so much to learn and go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I think. Okay. So episode 1, we do kind of see, certain couples connect and go in the promise room. Let me see. The first couple that goes in the promise room is John and Teresa. But before I get to them, so this is the thing. Before they go into the promise room, they send the couples on like dates, okay? Some of them are doing like massages, spa treatments, they're going on walks, they're going on a bike ride, they're going like, not sky, was it skydiving? I'm not sure. But you know, they go on a series of dates just to get to know this person. And you have Vanelle, okay? Vanelle ends up in kind of like a love triangle with her and Jorge, and her and I think, is it Derek or Justin? See, this is the thing. In the beginning, you kind of get confused with the names and stuff like that. But Vanelle, the girl, she gets in a triangle with two men, right? One man, you can tell he's an older man. He's black. He's a black older man, and the other one, he is Caucasian, white older man. And she's feeling like she's more so leaning towards Jorge. Um, I don't know. She just says that she just likes him more. They can relate more, or something like that. And also, Vanelle, to me, she looked like the girl from Love Is Blind. Oh, look, somebody trying, child. Why is somebody trying to get into my Facebook account? You would never. You would never help. Um, she looks like the girl from Love Is Blind. You know, the cup. Hold up. Let me just. I can pull up Vanelle. Let me pull up Vanelle. She's a pretty girl, and that's. I will say they did very well with picking the cast. I feel like everyone was attractive in their own way. Um, I'm like, why don't they put these people on Love Is Blind? Like, they should put some of them on Love Is Blind. Let's see. These are like videos. I'm not gonna play a video. Okay, so this is Vanelle. Oops. And this is who she chose. So Vanelle, and she chose, I think his name is Jorge. So, okay. But you could tell he's like old player type, OG, and like he still think he young and doing it. And you know, you could, he give me that like OG, like, yeah, I'm gonna listen, like OG, like, and she's falling for it. Like, she think everything he do is so cute, so sexy, it's so just everything she's looking for, right? I'm like, girl, no. You can't tell he about 50 plus. You can't tell. Like, you ever met one of them OGs, like, you know, they still in the latest fashion, they trying to like fit in still, and they mansplain everything. Like, that's all he was doing, mansplaining everything to this girl. Okay. Let me see who else. So John and Teresa. Let me look. I'm gonna look up John and Teresa. So this is John and Teresa. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Like, for real. Let's just call it what it is. Okay, John and Teresa. And I'm not gonna lie, like, even though the women are a little older, okay, they look good. Even the men that are older, they look good. Like, they all look good, but you can tell. So she's the older woman, he's the younger guy, okay? So they were getting a little touchy, like, she done smacked his butt, you know, they kissed, okay? So I already knew they were gonna pick each other. And then there was a guy, Andrew. He was saying like he wants a woman part of his daughter's life, and he likes younger. And I just could not wrap my head around that. You know, I'm like, you want younger, but you also want a woman that's part of your daughter's life. What are you gonna get from a younger woman that can also show up as a role model for your daughter? And how are you gonna put that? How do you know that this younger woman gonna want to be that for your daughter? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Okay. So Teresa, the one I just showed you, Teresa, she was like really feeling, what I want to say, self-conscious or guilty about her age and his age, because she knew he was younger, and you know, obviously she knew she's older, and she was talking about feeling like guilt about dating younger. She was very, very like nervous about it. Kept saying it, kept saying it. So to me, it's like, girl, why are you on this show if you are so like concerned about the age of a person you're dating? Why come on this show? Because you know this what the show is about. I'm confused. Okay. And then Tristan and Aaron. Okay, so let me look them up. Tristan and Aaron. Oh God. He just, his eyes was wide open to this woman. Okay, hold up. I'm like, this guy, his nose is too damn open, and he just look a little creepy to me. Maybe it's just me. I'm sorry, but he do. I'm like, ooh, I don't know what you've been through, but all I can say is I'm gonna pray for you. Okay. This is Aaron. Clearly young. Clearly young. Clearly young. So he really liked, oh no, that's Tristan. Sorry, that's Tristan. And he really liked Aaron. Let me see if I can just zoom in this picture. This is Aaron. She looked good. She was an older woman. Okay, this is a dynamic. It looks like a mother talking to her son. Whatever. Okay. So there was a moment where they went like wine tasting or something, and I don't know what was said, but it was something insinuating like getting it on later or like getting to the bed or something like that. And Tristan, the boy, the guy, the man, the younger man, okay, he goes and says something like, "Oh well, you know, we'll find that out later" or something. And Aaron's like, "Will we? We will?" Like, what are you insinuating? And what you mean we gonna find that out later? So you already saying that me and you gonna get to the bed, or we gonna have intercourse? Like, you already flirting in that way? Like, I feel like that turned her off. She also mentioned that he reminded her of her nephew. I said, girl, this is not gonna work. She was saying she doesn't feel comfortable. And this is the same guy, Tristan, the same guy that said, if you're not as hot as my mom, like, I don't want you. It's like, boy, what? So the people that you're dating, you're comparing their physical looks to your mother? I'm confused. Are you attracted to your mother? I'm confused. And she's also the one who asked him, do you have mama issues? And I said, girl, yes, he do. John, let me see. John, he mentioned how, let's see. He mentioned something about wanting to connect genuinely, have a genuine connection. He didn't want to feel like he was chasing the feeling or something. This is John again. John and Teresa. But I don't know. I feel like their connection, they were gonna connect, but it was something with him where I feel like, did I feel like it was forced? I don't know. I didn't write a lot about that. But he was saying that the connection between him and Teresa was like a genuine connection. I'm just like, I wonder how long they're spending with each other, what they're doing. Like, I don't know. The next one, Justin and Vanelle. Let me show you Justin. And I'm sorry that this is kind of like all over the place because this is how I felt watching it. Like, I felt like all over the place with the context because, again, like the first episode, they show you all these people, but like half of them we're not even gonna see, and then they might connect with this person and you think that's going well, but then they end up dating this person and you're like, oh, what happened to that person? So you're trying to keep up and it's like, okay, like, hold up here. So let me just go to this. So I'm going to show you. So this is Vanelle. So Vanelle is attracted to Justin and Jorge. Okay. So I don't even know how, like, girl, what is your type? What is your type? What is your type? But, you know, I'm not one to talk, okay? Because I can understand that you can date a certain type of physical attraction of person and you can date the whole opposite type. And you're like you put your people in a lineup, they not going to match one another. But this is just like, it's like total opposite, right? It's total opposite. But I mean, maybe it's the beard. Maybe she's attracted to that. I don't know. But anyways, Janesta, Justin and Vanelle are on a date. She figures that she really likes him. She says she's very slow to love. And I don't know who was saying this. They said, I suspect you get what you want. That was Justin. Justin said that to Vanelle. Like, I suspect you get what you want. They kiss. And then she also mentions how her father does not want her to date anyone 10 years older. And these men are clearly 10 years older, 10 years plus older than her. And she knows it. I don't know. I didn't like Justin and her as a couple, a thing. I just feel like it made me cringe a little bit. I don't know. Even with Jorge, it's like this woman is like, you can tell she's just like innocent. She's just like, I honestly did think she was younger than what she actually was. But she's a bit like naive, innocent. I feel like she could be manipulated, okay? Just in the things she was saying and doing, and like how open her heart was to these men and how vulnerable she was. And kind of like there was no sense of like this man or these men could possibly be lying to you, or they're just saying what you want to hear. Like, she didn't have any shade of that, okay, in her lens. She kind of was just accepting them for what they were, and whatever they told her, she was just going with that, okay? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And very sweet, soft-spoken, like, you know? Okay? But I can see, and now I can kind of understand why some men may not like women in their age group or women that are older, because they can't get over on them, and they're gonna read through you or read through the bullshit. And I feel like she was not really reading through the bullshit, you know. And women that may be the same age or older than you, you know, they're kind of like raw, like hold on, you're not about to pull up fast one on me. And they kind of give that like aggression, right? Like, no, I'm not to be played with, you know, because they don't been through certain amount of experience, they don't been through certain things, and they know what it is. Versus a young lady who may not been through certain things or haven't experienced that or had anyone tell them this about themselves. It could be a compliment, something really buttering them up, right? But not realizing how this man is actually trying to get over on you, and you're so caught up on his words or what he's saying, what he's doing, right? But it doesn't match up. But you can't see that because you're just a little blind right now. You're like in a love haze, right? So let's move on. So yeah. So now, anyways, episode 1, the couple that makes it to the promise room is John and Teresa. I'm gonna show them again. John and Teresa, they make it to the promise room. So they're like, we're gonna commit to each other. We want to know each other's ages. We're attracted to each other, and I think it's time that we just say what it is. So they have a 27-year gap, okay? And in the promise room, Teresa offers the ring to him. But they both accept. So he accepts, she's accept, and Teresa says, I am 54. Okay. And John is 27. And she was saying, before she even said how old she was saying, oh, I think he's gonna be in a big shock. I don't think he really realizes how old I am. And I'm just like, girl, I think you giving yourself a bit too much grace. Like, he know you an older woman. He knows it. Yeah, he may not know you 54, but he know you up there. He know you about 40. But, you know, to each his own. Because I read it right away. I said, oh, she about like 50. She like 51. Like, I could just tell. But then when he tells him her age, when he tells his age to her, she's shocked. She's like, 27. Teresa then, so at the promise ring, you not only tell the age, but you also tell like any baggage or anything that you come with, okay? So you could tell a person if you have kids, or, you know, if you've been divorced, you know, anything at that moment that they might want to know that you haven't asked before you commit, right? So she's like, okay, you're 27. Well, I have 3 children. And one is 22, one is 25, and my son is 29 years old. So once she said that, she's like, she's scared. And then, you know, John has a confessional where they ask him, like, how do you feel about her having children? And he's like, I mean, hey, you know, they're not my kids, they're her kids. But if we plan to be together, they'll eventually be my kids. And I'm just like, ain't no way in hell no man gonna come in my life that I'm 29 and he 27 talking about something, oh, I'm your stepdad. I know you fucking lying. I know you lying. So I would love to see the dynamic on how he acts around her children and stuff like that. Because, so her daughter 22 and the other daughter is 25, okay? Usually I can see that being his dating range, 22 and 25-year-olds at the age of 27. You feel me? So like, there's a chance, I'm sorry to say, there's a chance that her daughters may be attracted to this man. There's a chance that, you know, they have more in common than him and the mother. Like, you know, like, she should be trying to find men for her daughter if she's going that low in age to find men. I just don't know. Like, what is it with you that you can't find no man that's at least 40? At least 40. But okay, I digress. Anyways, so it's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward her finding out his age, knowing that they're so close in age with her children. I can see that. Like, how do you handle that? Okay. I don't think this dynamic will last. I think right now she is too excited to even be dating um someone of his age group, you know? But that's the main reason why I think it's not going to work. She's too excited, too ready, and I don't think she's totally processed that this man is only 27 and he has a lot more years and things that he has not experienced or needs to experience before he chooses you for the rest of his life. Okay, he has a lot of life ahead of him. That's just my opinion. Also in episode 1, what's that, episode 1 or episode 2? I think we find out if Vanelle and Jorge will be a thing or Vanelle and Justin will be a thing. But I'm just gonna leave it at episode 1 for now, because it's just a lot to like take in. But I do think, so my feelings on this show, I do feel like they're trying to normalize age gaps, you know, especially in the times of like the files coming out. Okay, like, you know, why would Netflix have this show premiering in these times of today? You feel me? Like, and I'm not gonna lie, we have seen this before, right? I'm a millennium. So we have seen this before. We've seen, you know, okay, so what was it, like WeTV, ETV? There was this young girl who was dating this older man. Let me see. I don't remember her name, but let me just pull that up. I think she was on like Dr. Phil. It was like this story. Let me just. I'm just gonna say, like, just in like the late 2000s or early 2000s, it was a lot of like age gaps between different couples. There is one in particular though where a young woman, I feel like she was like 18 and he was like 54 or 64, and this one paparazzi was like a big thing, you know, and they had paparazzi like following them, taking pictures, and it was just like this big scandal. Not only that, this was in times of Hugh Hefner where he had a lot of young women around him. This was a time of like, you know, the Britney Spears, the who name it, you name it, like, were dating younger or older men. Okay, so it's been a thing, and it's been a controversy thing. Okay, and especially in the industry. And I just feel like in this climate, Netflix, like the show is kind of tone deaf. Like, I don't see why we need this show. I don't see why we need to encourage this during these times. Okay, because you have situations where women are pressured into staying with someone who is older than them, or being used or manipulated, abused. Their youthfulness is taken away from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not just about women, but also men who get taken advantage of in these situations. So especially on these shows, like they find these strangers, have them meet, and go put them in the house. And at that point, we don't know what goes on in the bedrooms, but it becomes clear as the show goes on about who's doing what. Okay. um but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's suspect, it's very suspect. I don't know how long this show will last, but people are watching it, I'm watching it, and we're just gonna see. I will say though too, the host, like, it seems like they're reading off a script. Like, I can't really put my finger on it, but it feels like it's AI, or they're reading off a script when they're saying things. Like, it's like awkward silence. They're reading like word, like, today guys, we will be dating. And then it's like a whole awkward silence. It's like, I don't know if they purposely edited like that, or are they actually just silent like that in between the words. I don't know. But that was throwing me off too. And in this world, like how they just put things in front of you, like, just put it there. It's the things that they put in front of you that you should be concerned on, but also the things that's hidden. But if they're so ready to put something in front of you like this, it's like, okay, what the I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking. But yeah, so that's the episode of Age of Attraction, episode 1. We're just gonna see how far this show goes, okay? Let me see if I wrote down, because I feel like I don't even know if I'm gonna keep reviewing this, because I could just go on to the next. Let me see. Did I write down how old everybody was? I got to like episode 3 when they all revealed their ages. I just don't know if I will continue to watch. I think the next episode, I am gonna do the episode 2, and then I'm just gonna skip to 3 and give all the details of them, sharing their ages and their reactions, and then that's about it. Because I feel like this show is kind of like, listen, finito. Like, people are gonna watch it though. People are gonna watch it. I'm not saying don't watch it, to each his own, but I feel like what they're trying to normalize is not something that I feel like should be normalized in these times. Okay, it's just kind of tone deaf, just a little bit. It's just a little tone deaf. Okay. We have stories of, like, Keke Palmer just interviewed Demi Lovato, and they were saying how they were dating men that were older, and they felt like they should be dating them because the work they were doing, or the amount of money they were making, and the caliber of a young lady that they were at that time. They were very successful. So I think she might have said she was like 18, 17, dating someone like almost in their 30s, or 29 years old. Like, I should not have been dating that person. And I agree. Even Demi Lovato, she's like, yeah, I shouldn't have been dating that person. Like, what? I was just doing so. I felt like I had to do that because I was this age, or I was doing this with my life. And the stories are kind of sad, because in the moment, you didn't see nothing wrong with it. It was normal, right? It was normal. But looking back, you're like, that wasn't cool. And then having other adults around, knowing that these two people are dating knowing there's an age gap, you're like, what? Like, no way. Again, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to dating age gaps, it's just, you gotta be careful, okay? You gotta be careful. I don't know. If I'm dating somebody and I feel like I'm being their parent, or I'm I'm like too mature for this person, it's already like, yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. Or I gotta like teach them how to take care of themselves, or I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a fine line of like growing with each other, learning each other, learning new things, doing new things, and me knowing that you don't have much experience in something, or you haven't went through this phase of your life yet, and I have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, we just gonna put this to the side, okay? So yeah, that is my recap on the show Age of Attraction, episode 1. I think I'm gonna record again because I want to get into some like celebrity tea stuff that been going on and how I feel about that. Okay, so bye.